Formerly suicidal redditors, what's something that kept you alive a little while longer and helped you to get through the dark times in your lives? My speech teacher made us write a bucket list of all the things you wanted to do with our lives, and while I was thinking about jumping from the building at the school, my friend called me back. I heard a little song and someone else at the school killed themselves, and all these things, mainly the bucket list, made me go to my parents and admit that I needed help. Albeit they didn't believe me until I showed them my scars and stack of pills that I was saving for my next attempt. But I did get help and I'm here now, and I'm kind of going through a rough time, but I'm much happier than I was then because I want to live. Bad food. Seriously. When I woke up and felt the urge, I would go eat a ham sandwich and a noodle cup. For some reason I didn't want the first meal of the last day of my life to be so shitty. It worked. Also games and movies. I always found one I really wanted to see or play, and I couldn't kill myself before I got a chance to experience either movie or game. Curiosity about what the world and gaming will be like in 2060. That and not wanting to make my parents sad. After I didn't want to make any plans at all for next year onward, I accidentally made one. Promised my niece on her birthday to go to an anime convention for the first time when they are up again. She was so glad to go, that I can't. My answer sounds dumb compared to some of these amazing answers, but I'm gonna say it anyway cause I think it's worth mentioning, maybe. Movie releases. I would watch a trailer or hear a rumor or confirmation about a new movie in development and I would think, I have to see that. And it just kept going and going. There was always something I wanted to see. Eventually life got better, I stopped some bad habits, and got through the rough times. I look back and realize how much movies really did save my life. My kids. Especially, the thought of my autistic son having to deal with it, knowing I am the only one able to help him through stuff emotionally. Everyone says they understand him, but they really don't. Getting mad at him when he is overwhelmed isn't understanding, doofus. This is going to sound horrible and I'm going to go ahead and apologize now, but honestly, ego. Suicide always felt like such a bitch way to die. I'm not trying to pass judgment on anyone, but every time I've seriously thought about it I knew I didn't want to go out like that. One time my mum out of nowhere came into my room and gave me a chocolate sundae, the small things matter smile. Look. Nothing did. It's the afterthought when I failed that kept me from doing it again. What are my parents gonna do? Where would my wife be now if I wasn't alive anymore? Where would my pets be? Where would my friends be? In most cases I say be selfish and care about yourself, but from a suicide attempt survivor, think of everyone else. My sister. She looks up to me so much and I would never want her to see me give up. She honestly probably has no idea that she's the thing that saved me, but I am oh so grateful for her. It used to be TV shows, especially ongoing ones. But, my baby sister was born 3 years ago and it really shifted things. I'm her crew and I don't want her to grow up and have to say that her big sibling killed themselves. We're kinda best buds. She has a habit of crawling into my bed at obscene hours of the night so she can snuggle me and watch pimple popping videos. I was suicidal while I was pregnant. Was hell-bent on offing myself as soon as I delivered. Some days I even would convince myself that both myself and the baby were better off dead. I had one friend in particular who consistently went out of her way to do small, thoughtful things for me. Stocked my fridge with sparkling cider, would leave a smoothie at my door with a note, "Baby needs the vitamins." I probably owe my life to her. And my excellent team of doctors who were committed to understanding me and getting me on the right medications. Sounds cheesy, but it was just a couple people who recognized something dark was going on and refused to back down. My daughter is almost 2 and life is so good. It's a weird, emotional thing to actually type out. Really hope it gets better for everyone else. My friends celebrating my birthday by a very poorly planned trip. It was very last moment. They makeshifted everything on the spot. I live far away from home, so they were the only ones there to celebrate with. Their efforts made me rethink my attempt on giving life one more chance. An older man drives by my house while I sit outside having a cigarette on my front porch. The passenger seat window is down and his bulldog is resting his faces on the windowsill. He drives slowly and I see him often enough that I imagine he takes these drives simply for his dog to enjoy the breeze in his face. Each time, it puts a smile on my face and reminds me of how even the smallest of choices and actions can make a positive impact in the world, and the opportunity I have to have a positive impact too. I could rant forever, but it's late now. Oddly enough, being suicidal was itself a coping mechanism. I could make it through this day because this day would be the last one. But I didn't stop trying until my third attempt. That was the time I got caught, once by my sister that night and again by a friend who cornered me a few weeks later saying my behavior was really off. Them showing how much they cared despite this part of myself did a lot. Limiting how long I was alone did a lot. And oddly enough, Yota's helped by actually managing to make me smile at that time. More came with therapy. Killing yourself doesn't get rid of the pain, it only transfers it onto others. My mum. I couldn't bear the thought of the immense pain I would inflict on her. So I did drugs, not the legit ones doctors prescribe, but everything illegal plus tons of kratom, instead. They may work as a short-term solution but make everything way worse in the long run. So please stay far, far away from them. I know I'm way late to this, but I figured Doc might appreciate my response. I just realized how good my life is. I have a loving family, a job, good health. No matter how shit I might feel, I have a lot more privilege than most people. And I'd be incredibly ungrateful to waste the opportunities I've been given. My two little sisters and alcohol. They made it worthwhile. The alcohol dulled the pain. Medication. For me it was my future. Every time I felt suicidal I just thought it what I wanted from life, and I just believed that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I was severely suicidal and tried to end it twice. Ended up getting a bunch of pets, 3 rats and 4 mice, to keep me busy and distracted. It has done wonders. I love my little furballs so much, and I would even go so far to say that they saved my life. My kid for sure. I wouldn't want her to be disappointed in me. Don't want my cats to end up in a shelter. Worrying about who would take care of my cat Pom, honestly. He wouldn't understand where I went and that I wasn't coming back. He's 12 and in good shape for his age, but he's getting older and needs to be taken care of. What if they take him back to the shelter? He would be so sad and confused, and I'm directly in charge of his well-being and he'll get everything he needs through me. I can't abandon him. He saves me from my mental illnesses taking over. In the beginning it was knowing how much it could fuck up my family, but being suicidal without any sort of help just led to me not caring anymore how it affected the people around me. So then I decided I couldn't, because I didn't want my dog to starve to death BC her owner wasn't around to feed her. That's worked since. Even on my darkest days I just look at her and it's like, man, killing myself would kill her too, so then I'm a dog murderer. Somehow my dog's possible reaction to my death kept me around and my whole families didn't, lol. If anyone here is feeling this way, I highly recommend getting a pet that depends on you. It will change your priorities like nothing else can. This going to sound dumb, but Grey's Anatomy. I got hooked on the first episode and spent months coming home and binge watching it. It was the first show I ever binged on, and now I have tons of favorite shows. It's not the healthiest way to live, but having the distraction of a whole different world after a long day of suffering in my own saved my life. Honestly, just telling myself that certain circumstances would improve and that life would get better and that the feeling would go away. Every time I had that feeling, I would think that and tried to picture a better future and a happier me. When it got really bad and the positive thoughts about the future didn't help, what got me through it was thinking about how me killing myself would destroy the few that genuinely loved me, dad, sister, a few close friends, and how since they had no idea it got that bad, that it would haunt them for the rest of their lives, wondering if there was something they could have done. And last resort, although morbid, I would just think about how horrific it would have been for whomever would find me likely days later. People have to go to therapy for that kind of trauma. This is gonna get buried, but I hope it helps someone. When I was at my lowest points where I wasn't sure if anyone would care if I died, I remember thinking to myself something someone said once: your pets will never understand why you didn't come home. So I stuck it out for my cat. I didn't want her to not understand why I never came home.